Hello Internet, welcome back to another Range Rover video. Now today I'm looking at understanding the health of this car a bit more. So in a previous video I've done the oil analysis, that's come back good. Now today what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be using the Artidiag 500S by Topdon to dive into this car and have a look at what's on the computers. Now this really is a great bit of kit. I was sent this by the people at Topdon, and I've been using it quite a bit between not only the Range Rover but the F-Type as well. Now I've done a video already about how to properly read the codes on the F-Type. That came back with a clean bill of health. But what I want to look at today is the functionality of the Artidiag 500S. It really is a fabulous bit of kit. Thank you very much Topdon for sending this out to me. It has proved very useful. So let's get this plugged in and let's see what it can do. Now, I am not a mechanic. I don't claim to be. I've got a rough idea about cars. I spent my youth taking them apart, sometimes putting them back together where I could. But this really is dead simple to use. It's a simple case of plugging this into the OBD port, which I think is probably going to be the hardest part of this. Give me 2 seconds. And then turning the ignition on. And the unit springs into life. Once you've powered the car on, you come into the main screen. Now, this gets its charge from 2 places. Either, as you can see, from the vehicle battery, as it's doing now, or in the end here, you've got space for memory cards and a USB-C for charging. Now, when we're in the tool, you've got a whole range of functionalities. We can not only do diagnostics, but it also gives you the info on the repair, and that's what I love about this tool. Most of the time, any other reader, you can scan for a code and you don't have a clue what it means, whereas this one, you can connect to the Wi-Fi and it will actually tell you and search the internet and tell you what that code is and how you could possibly fix it. So let's give this car a scan. What I can do is I can go into the history of what I've scanned here before, and it will show you where I did the Jaguar. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an auto search, and what it will do is it will just find the VIN number of the car by scanning through. It's asking me there to connect to Wi-Fi, so we'll do that in a second. So it's found that it's a Land Rover, it's got my VIN number there, and then it's just going to go into the car and perform that scan. So I'm confirming that is correct, and I can do a full health report on the car. There we go. So straight away I can see I've got a couple of bits up the top here. Restraints control module. Let's have a look at that. So I'm going to read the fault codes. Interesting. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to connect to the Wi-Fi. You can see I've already connected to this in the past. That's now connected. So what I can see here is I've got these fault codes appearing on the, what's that say there, data 2 not complete, so I know I need to look into these codes here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back, I'm going to clear the faults, and I'm going to see if they come back. I'll drive the car for a few weeks, but what I can see here now is that has no stored fault codes. Let's have a look at the engine control module. Now, I know about one of these, and I will go into what that is in a future video. However, there was only one when I had a look before. So, I know about this down here. I'll talk about that in a future video, but this one is new. I've not seen this before, a P062A. So, I'm going to take that fault code, P062A92, and what I'm going to do is try and remember that. 062A-92. Just come back to the main screen, go into repair info, and I can search P062A, where's the A? There it is, -92. So let's search that, and it gives me the information there. What I can do is it then takes me through to Google, and it will show me what some of these are likely to be, and even go through to videos. So if I go back again, I can search videos, and because I haven't saved any out of here, they're not appearing in my library. So that's just one function of this tool, is to read fault codes. Now, as you're seeing here, it gets software updates itself over the air, and I can choose to update that software so I know I'm always running the most current. I'm going to ignore that for the minute because we're halfway through doing what we're doing today. Other things I can do are things like maintenance. I can go into here and I can bleed my brakes using the ABS system, or don't know what I've just pressed there, my fingers. So look at the BMS, the body management system, and I can perform things such as telling the car I've fitted a new battery. You have to do that nowadays with modern cars, mad I know. Or put the wipers into service mode, all the way through to also resetting any service lights. Other things you can do when you're in here, I can go into the oil, and once it's connected to the module of the car, I can reset my service or service message reset. So lots of functions there, and it is really easy to get around. I'm using the touch screen, but you can use the buttons here as well. So I can go around and select various bits and pieces using the buttons. But for me, I like a touch screen. I can get into any part of this tool quite easily. This really is a great bit of kit, and it's always difficult to know what will work with your car. Now, this has pretty much every function I could possibly need to go about looking after this car, and it really is just so intuitive to use. I love the fact it connects to the internet. You can look up those fault codes whilst you're in the car. You don't have to scribble them down on a bit of paper. You can understand what you're looking at in real time. But it goes further than that. You can then start doing things like resetting warning lights. You can reset service counts, you can put wipers into service positions so you can change them, all the way through to reading every module in the car. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clear all of those fault codes. I'm going to give the car a drive around for a few weeks, see if they come back, and then that will tell me if I actually need to take any further action, or if it's just the car having a few little gremlins in the electrical system somewhere, as modern cars do. I'd like to say a massive thank you to Topdon for sending me out this tool. It really does make looking after both of these cars really simple. I can see everything I need to in a really easy manner, so thank you very much for sending those out. There's a link down in the description where you can get one of these yourself. Great bit of kit, I love it, and I'll certainly be using it on both of these cars for some time to come. But if you're not already, guys, please do drop a sub to the channel by hitting that button down below. Have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.